there are people in the Bible who God used so tremendously and who had very great appetite for God, that their lives up to now challenge me and still challenging me. Elijah was one of such men. The reason for which he wanted to die was so challenging to me that I felt, will I prefer to die for such a reason at all? You know the story. Elijah came out of the blues. I don't even know his background, except that we know him to be Elijah the Tishbite, the man that will teach and bat. Of course, there was a great apostasy in the land of Israel. The people abandoned God. Baal was the in thing. The worship of Baal is financed from the palace. And the worship of Baal almost became a state religion. Everybody kept quiet. Ahab was so powerful. Jezebel also was very powerful. That great woman. Very bad woman, but a very great wife. Of course, if you find Christian wives that are wives like Jezebel, you will thank God for them. That was one woman. I learned so much from her when it comes to being a wife of a husband. Among several women that Ahab was married to, only Jezebel was called his wife. Of course, you know that one day under Jehu's rulership, 80 sons of Ahab were killed. So it's not possible for Jezebel to give birth to 80 children. It's not possible. So I know Ahab had other women who were married to him, but only Jezebel was called his wife. And I tried to find out why the Bible kept repeating, and Jezebel his wife. I saw that that woman was a correct wife after. Bad woman, but very correct wife. That was a woman whose husband would prefer to talk to, even if he's not going to pray to God. That was a woman who could see beyond the face of her husband, who could see that his spirit was sorrowful, and could shut down the whole palace because her husband was not happy. And for whatever reason the husband was not happy, she's going to ensure that that thing is done at the risk of her life. That was Jezebel. And I wish if you as a woman will be like that to your husband, in the positive side, that would be very great. That Ahab came home, he was not eating. He didn't think that he had eaten from a girlfriend's house. She didn't fight her husband. She just came in and said, why are you not eating? You are sad. Your spirit is sorrowful. And the man said, is this vineyard of Naboth? I asked for it, and the man would not just give it to me. And the woman looked at her husband and said, are you not a king in Israel? Have you forgotten what it means to be a king in Israel? Have you forgotten that you carry God's anointing over your life? Have you forgotten what God declared over your life? Now you go and eat, leave it to me. And it would be great for my wife to tell me that you want God to give you Nigeria. You don't fast. I will fast, and I will not eat until God deliver Nigeria into your hand. That will be a great one. That will be a great wife. Jezebel may be a very bad woman to you, yes. But to her husband, she was a great wife. But I'm not talking about Jezebel this morning. It's about rice and eat. And so, God just stirred the heart of this man without any background. And I'm also trusting that what God is going to do in Nigeria in the days that we are entering into, He's not going to do it by popular men. I kept saying that. Out of the blues, this man just came out and declared before the king, as the Lord God of Israel liveth, before whom I stand. Not before whom I stood, not before whom I used to stand, before whom I stand. As I'm talking, I am standing in his presence. There shall be no rain, nor dew, according to my word. Of course, that was a strange man. That challenged me so much, because naturally, what we know about prophet is to add the prefix, thus saith the Lord, or thus saith the Spirit of God. But Elijah was not going to say, thus saith the Lord. It's according, thus saith Elijah the Tishbite. There shall be no rain, there shall be no dew. And God didn't say, since you did not put my name there, there shall be no performance of this your counsel. God moved, shut the heavens, and put the key in Elijah's hand. And Elijah just went away. Israel suffered under that. Elijah made me to understand that it's a great thing for a man to gain access into God's presence. It's a great thing for a man to be given opportunity to stand in the presence of God. If he doesn't lose it, he's a great person. And there's nothing he cannot do if you understand the privileges attached to having access into God's presence. And I wonder in my heart if you understand what you are losing by losing God's presence. I don't know whether you understand what it means for you to just run your life on your own terms and without God. I wonder what you think you are doing when you enter into a relationship with a young man or a young woman and it was not an instruction from God's presence. I wonder if you understand that you are an accident going somewhere to happen when you move and God's presence is not with you. It's very dangerous. But of course, you know, Elijah shut the heavens for about 3 years and 6 months. And God had mercy on Israel and told Elijah, it's time for me to bring the rain. If you are not ready, I'm ready. Go and show yourself to Ahab. Again, I found a man who had an understanding of God's word. He was not petty in his thinking. Go and show yourself looks to me like a blank check, and I will have just gone to show myself. But Elijah was not interested in showing himself. He understood what that instruction meant, that it is not about showing himself, it's about showing the God of Israel to Israel. So he called for a meeting on Mount Carmel. Why hop ye between two opinions? If God be God, serve him, and if it's Baal, serve him. Let's check which of the two is God. And it pleased the people to gather on Mount Carmel, that the God that answers by fire, that's the God we are going to choose. It's an election day. And you know, eventually the Lord honored Elijah. Fire came from heaven, consumed the offering, consumed the wood, consumed the stone, consumed the dust, consumed the water. Very hungry fire. And that's the kind I'm asking that the Lord will send to us. Amen. A fire that will consume. By the time that fire finished its work, there was nothing left on that spot. That's the kind of life I wish to live for the Lord. That by the time the Lord is through, there will be nothing left. Dying empty. Nothing to call my own anymore. And I'm thinking that that dimension of grace on Elijah was so much that he didn't think that the prophet of Baal should be given opportunity to repent as Israel repented. He commanded that they should be slaughtered. And of course, the word that has gone out of the mouth of his prophets must be performed. They picked all the prophets of Baal and they slaughtered all of them. They got 400. That was huge. And Jezebel, the chief financier of the prophets of Baal, had the news. And that's where the matter started to arise from. When the news came to Jezebel, she was so strong that her words were law in Israel. Said, go and tell Elijah that the idols that she served should deal with her if under 24 hours she doesn't make Elijah to be like one of the prophets of Baal that he slaughtered. And if you read verse 3, can you read verse 3 for me if you are carrying in James translation? And when he saw that, wait. Did Jezebel showed him a video? You are not answering. What did Jezebel send to Elijah? It was words. It was a message, verbal message. Go and tell Elijah, under 24 hours, he himself will be dead as one of the prophets of Baal that he killed. I thought the Bible would say, when Elijah heard that, because that would have been the correct response. He didn't hear what Jezebel said. What did he do, please? He had a revelation. He had a revelation from what Jezebel said. And you know, it's very disturbing that you will read the Bible and you will not find revelation, and yet the devil will speak to you. He brings revelation. You interpret your fear in so many ways and you apply them accurately, and yet when God speaks, you only hear, you don't see. You can see that in little while. You will go on very soon now. Thank you, my sister. I am thinking in my heart that Elijah ought to hear what Jezebel said. But he didn't just hear what Jezebel said. He saw the picture. He saw the revelation of his own death. Jezebel had not carried out her threat, but Elijah saw himself in a casket, pronounced dead, R.I.P. And it is what he saw that made him to run. Now I want to ask you, I hope you are also not running because of the threat from the camp of the enemy. I hope the enemy has not succeeded in showing you negative picture of your future, and you have come to believe what he says about you. I was telling the brethren last Wednesday as we had Bible study meeting together, I said one of those people that taught me faith was Satan himself, and they looked at me curiously. How could Satan teach you faith? But that's the truth. He had tried Job many times and he had abandoned Job. He knew that Job was a no-go area. He can't succeed over it. And one day as he strolled into God's presence, God looked at him and said, you are not even talking about Job. Don't you see my servant Job? He said, Job, that one come with the inside, but there's something I can do to Job. You have laid an edge round about, you have defended him everywhere. So what about it? It's not as powerful as you thought. It's only because you are too jealous of him. You protect him too much. And God said, all right, I'll give you a chance to go and touch him, but don't touch his life. And he never asked God, are you sure it will work? He believed my father. He went and it worked. And I said, if a bastard will believe my own father, am I not a bastard therefore not to believe him? A much more bastard than the devil. Why will God speak to me? My father in the faith told me that it is criminal not to believe God. It is criminal. Are you going to talk about his integrity, or about his age, or about his power that will make you to doubt him? when he speaks. I don't know what God has spoken to Elijah before this time. Whatever God must have spoken to Elijah went off from his mind. All that he could see was what Jezebel said. Sister, can you please read for us now?
And when he saw that,
he arose
and went for his life.
He went for his life. What's the meaning of that? You can see that in it. What's the meaning of that? He went for his life. A man that was going for God is no longer going for God. He's going for himself. A man whose thoughts was saturated. Now, as I'm talking, don't think I've come here to disparage Elijah. God has helped him. We are still awaiting results. I dare not disparage him. He had finished the race. He had laid down the sword. He was caught up, alive to go to heaven. He finished, and he finished well. I am still the one struggling here. But we're learning something from his life. We're taking instruction from this great man's life. That the dimension of your walk with God, there are lessons to learn to make it better and greater. And that's why we are here today. Elijah went for his life. Elijah became so full of the life that actually was not his but God's. And for that reason he went. I don't know what is scaring you away from the Lord. I don't know why you are going from prayer house to another prayer house. I don't know. I don't know why you think God is not sufficient to protect. How do you think about a woman who is carrying something heavy on her head, and then she sees a neighbor of hers, and that one pulled up by the roadside and asked her to come in, and she came in and she was still carrying the load on her head? What do you think about that? Is it not stupid for her not to know that the car that carries her can as well carry that? Why should he still burden herself when something has offered to help her at whatever she's done? Why do you think so? And so this man went for his life. The Bible says he came to Beersheba, which belonged to Judah, and there abandoned his servant. He became so suspicious of his environment. He became so suspicious even of his personal assistant. He was not safe anymore in his own eyes. That's why you don't talk to the brethren anymore, because you suspect everybody. You carry your money within yourself. Have you shared with the brethren? Say, but I don't know who is who anymore. Everybody is your enemy. Excuse me, you have not come to a point of understanding the God that you serve. That's your problem. Even the personal assistant, he just told the man, stay here. That was why Elisha knew better. When he said, stay here, the Lord has sent me to Bethel. He said, that's how you told your servant the other time, and you never came back from me. This one, we are going together. It is only when you drop dead that I will stop following. It was frustrating for Elijah, and I want to see in verse 4. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die. Do you take Elijah very serious? For me, I don't take him serious, because I think that if he really wanted to die, he should have waited for Jezebel, who offered to kill him free of charge. He doesn't need prayer to die. Jezebel had offered to kill him, and he should have just stayed. I'm not sure he really wanted to die. It was a protest, and a very nice blackmail that he has come with to blackmail the Almighty. Take my life. But you see, he said something that challenged him. It is enough now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. Now, two things I like to strike, and then we can move to the main matter that we have today. When Elijah said, it is enough, he meant that I have come to the end of the road. I can't take it anymore. That I look at from two perspectives. Number one, it could be that Elijah felt, I can't take this nonsense anymore, and I don't want it again. That's a positive one. The negative aspect is to say, there is nothing more to offer my generation. It's enough. Of course, he said, I am not better than my fathers. And I felt that was very challenging. That Elijah wanted to die, not because there was no money in ministry. He wanted to die, not because miracles are not happening anymore. He wanted to die not because he had no wife or because he had no child, but because when he thought he had finished with Baal in the land of Israel, a voice still rose from the palace in support of Baal. Elijah looked at himself and looked at the quality of his ministry. Said, there is nothing different between me and my fathers. If I am here only to repeat history, then it doesn't work it. It doesn't work it just to stop where the father stopped. And my challenge here is that, do you also want to stop where your father stopped? Why do we always refer to those things that happened in the past as if nothing better will happen? I saw a man who had interest in doing more than what his fathers did. I saw a man whose heart was not to repeat history, but him to set a new record of ministry in life. I saw a man who wanted to do what no man had done before. I saw a man who wanted to excel and travel beyond where the father stopped. Take my life, this life worth nothing as far as I'm concerned, because I set out to be better than my fathers. I set out to do more than what my predecessors did. You have many of the senior friends here, for those of you who are still on campus, and then you could look at their time and say, wonderful, when they were here it was like this. Excuse me, thank God for them, but it is past. No man is rich enough to buy the past. You don't have such fun, but you can purchase tomorrow. It is possible for you to purchase tomorrow, but you can't purchase yesterday. It's gone. It is very interesting for me when I heard Paul saying, look, it is not as though I have attained it, but this one thing I do, and I do it continuously. I forget what lies behind. I reach forth to what is ahead of me. That's my life. And I'm not just walking lackadaisically towards it. I am actually pressing towards it. Somebody said, don't follow your dream, chase it. Don't just follow casually. You need to chase after it. Excuse me, I see that there is something about Elijah, and God heard what Elijah said in his ears. Take my life, I am not better than my fathers. And the Bible says, and as he laid and slept under a juniper tree, behold, then an angel touched him. You see, if the Bible says an angel touched him and there is no then there, I will not have linked what happened with the angel to what Elijah said. If in your heart this morning God is going to stir a holy desire to excel, to do better than your fathers, my prayer has been for all of those who follow me around, who labor around me, those who are growing, around me. My prayer has always been that their lives will be 10 times better than my life. My prayer has been that their ministry will be 10 times better than the ministry God has given to me. I've been praying that their messaging will be 10 times stronger than the message I preach. It is a disaster if they will not be better than me. Then I'm also a failure in ministry. If the Lord in your heart this morning will stir this holy desire for you to understand that there is a place for you in the plan of God to take not just this campus for Jesus, not just Osun State for Jesus, but the entire Nigeria, the entire Africa, and the 6 continents of the world. And then 6 now, I think they also discover another one. They are confusing us. The Bible is constant. Leave science alone. But I think if you have such in your heart, you might discover that God will be willing to respond to you. I discovered that what killed revival in the days of Elijah was not lack of God's response, but lack of understanding of God's response. Am I making sense? We are checking as we are preparing for our retreats. We wondered when Pharaoh had a dream and Joseph interpreted it. Joseph didn't just interpret it, he also brought a counsel. Do you remember? He told Pharaoh what he should do, and Pharaoh did that. Suddenly we had a report that the famine was all over the earth, and all countries came to Egypt to buy corn. Then I asked the brethren, could God have brought famine to be all over the earth, and will not have brought plenty to be all over the earth? Will God behave that way? Why is it that we hear about famine in other nations and we didn't hear about their plenty? We concluded it is either nobody dreamed, or they dreamed and there was no interpreter, or maybe there was interpreter, there was no counsel. They didn't understand what they ought to do, having understood what God is saying. Friends, I am praying that you will not waste your own opportunity. Amen. This Bible that I'm seeing here, and as he lay and slept, verse 5, I'm repeating, under a juniper tree, behold, there an angel touched him and said unto him, arise and eat. Okay, I am not better than my fathers, take away my life. The response of heaven to that complaint was, arise and eat. That genuine cry for excellent ministry attracted a response from heaven. And the response was, arise and eat. Did he say, I'm hungry? No. So why food? Why is it that what God felt Elijah needed at this hour was not an encouragement, was not a mighty revelation of some angels that are going up and down on top of a ladder. No. Why not Abraham and Moses or somebody like that coming to encourage, like they came to encourage Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration? Why arise and eat? There must be something about this. And I want God to just help us in a few minutes to discuss this and to respond to prayer. It is possible that God has also responded to you, and yet you don't understand his response, or you have completely misapplied what God is attempting to say to your heart. When Joash, I think it was Joash, when he came to this same, it was Elisha. When Joash came to Elisha, because the Syrian catch to wipe his tears, because somebody that is crying, what he needs is an handkerchief, and then he will bring a word of comfort unto him. But Elisha looked at him and said, take your bow and arrow and open the window eastward and shoot. Excuse me. That response seemed not to agree with the trouble on ground. And so I know that many times we miss God because we think that when you tell God, I am hungry, what he should offer you is food. So when you are saying, Lord, look at it. I am so hungry, my parents couldn't pay my school. And he showed you a man knocking, perspiring there. You felt, oh, Lord, get me something. That's not what I'm talking about. You felt away. My parents couldn't afford to pay my school fees. Why am I like this? And God is showing you it's about working hard. Or you misapply what he's saying. Because you have, many times our minds seem to be whacked. And we have configured our mind to what we think must be the response of God. And so when he's not speaking along that line, we feel he's not speaking at all. That was the mistake here. Arise and eat, of course. Bible said, and he looked, and behold, there was a cake baking on the coals, and a cruse of water at his head. Now this cake was not in the spirit, it was physical. It was, I think, the angel himself who came to bake this cake, and water was theirs, and he did eat and drink and laid him down again. And the angel of the Lord came again the second time and told him and said, arise and eat. Now that looks a bit confusing to me, and I just want to settle that a little bit for us to discuss. When the angel came, we saw the Bible say there is a cake that is being baked on coals, live coals. Arise, eat. Elijah casually arose and ate. The Bible said, and laid him down again. When the angel came the second time, I suspect that when he ate the first time, he didn't finish the food. And there is a need for him. I don't know at what time Elijah slept under the juniper tree. I don't know whether he slept in the night and the angel came in the morning. The Bible didn't indicate. So I stopped struggling to find out what time. But I noticed a moment of sleeping. And I noticed that the angel came to wake him up. It tells me that Going by the way Elijah was sleeping, it wasn't time for him yet to wake up. It was the angel who came to interrupt that sleep for him to arise and to eat. What are all of these suggesting? So that leaving this meeting today, you first for the angel to bring a waking, permit me to use that word that way, a waking, a personal waking unto Elijah. Nobody, if he wants strength, eats in dream and becomes strong in reality. If you must be strong physically, when should you eat please? You eat physically. You don't think that eating in dream will strengthen you physically. It doesn't work that way. A man that God has heard cannot keep sleeping 8 hours every day or 10 hours every day and expect that something tangible will rise from his hand. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way that you want to come out of this polytechnic with distinction and then you are sleeping 8 hours every day. I think God must interrupt your sleep. I think so. There is nobody through whom the Lord will do anything tangible and he will give himself to much sleep. A little sleep, a little slumber attract poverty. Poverty of the spirit, poverty of the mind, which is the greatest poverty I've ever seen in life. Poverty of anything that you can think about. I see a man who was sleeping and God knew that you couldn't have prayed this kind of prayer and yet your response will be to sleep. God came, interrupt that sleep and said, arise, there is a need for the sleeping person inside of you to arise. They told Ezra when they saw in the days of Ezra that they missed something serious in Israel. The people wept when they discovered the word of God that they should not intermarry with people from other nations. Everybody was scattered. They prayed, they cried. And Ezra also was crying with them. Some few men came to Ezra and they said, arise, for this matter belongeth to thee. You cannot company with us crying. Your own part is to stand. Your own part is to take a position. Excuse me, it is not possible for you to sit and for you to lie down doing nothing and people will count you and count on you. It's not possible. A man who stands for nothing falls for everything. It's not possible that you are a compromiser on campus and God will ever invest anything serious in your life. It is a time for us to take a stand for Jesus. I hear him saying, arise. You can't sit down anymore. You can't be crawling anymore. You cannot be